Hello everyone, here's your weather hazard briefing for Saturday, June 11th. We got showers and thunderstorms slowly spreading south today. With some of those storms, we might see a bit of small hail and gusty wind with that. Now, across the rest of the area going in tomorrow afternoon, evening, that's our best chance of seeing rain across the region. We're also looking at another round of strong, maybe even a few severe thunderstorms. Again, looking at the potential of hail and gusty winds. Rainfall amounts, though, they'll be highest in the central mountains and also in portions of the eastern highlands, especially around the Island Park and Centennials region of here in eastern Idaho. It'll be breezy off and on, especially today and again Monday and potentially Tuesday. But once we get to the middle of next week until the end of next week, it does look like it's going to warm up and dry out again across the area. You'll notice high pressure is pretty much shifted to the east. We've got southwest flow coming over Idaho and much of the Pacific Northwest this morning. We'll start to see that moisture increasing across the central mountains. You can already see that occurring right now with an increase in cloud cover. As we go through the day, that potential of showers and thunderstorms shifts south, but that doesn't shift that far south today compared to what we'll be seeing for tomorrow. Looking at the weather risk outlook, we do have some gusty winds across the Snake Plain today, and we do have a wind advisory in effect for the Arco Desert region. Otherwise, the only other area of impact will be with some flooding along the rivers and streams up around Haley, along with the Big Wood there at Haley, and with it into action stage, continuing to action stage. We've had a few more creeks and streams pushing right up to action stage, and this trend will continue, especially on the Big Wood there at Haley all the way through the middle part of next week. Showers and thunderstorms do increase tomorrow, and then as we go into Monday, they shift into the central mountains and mainly the southern and eastern highlands as a dry slot moves through. We're still highlighting the central mountains and the eastern highlands for the better potential of some impacts from rain. We do have an even bigger impact up around the Sawtooth area, especially around the Boundary Fire, the burn scar there with the amount of rain falling. We do have a flash flood watch in effect for tomorrow afternoon and evening in that area. Across the rest of the central mountains, the potential of any slides, rock, or mudslides, it's very low but non-zero, but the main impact we think from that's going to be up there around Stanley and up in the Frank Church Wilderness with that debris flow potential increasing for tomorrow. Looking at where we're expecting those showers and storms to be over the next 24 hours or so, you'll notice we go through the morning, some increase across the central mountains, especially up north of Salmon. Then we see a few more isolated storms developing across mainly areas from around Island Park back over towards Stanley early afternoon. And then as we go into the afternoon and evening, you see an increase across the central mountains and also up around Monida towards Henry's Lake and West Yellowstone. So we go into the evening hours. Most of that activity stays to the north. We'll see some more isolated showers and storms farther south pushing across the Snake Plain into the eastern highlands, maybe as far south as Idaho Falls, but most likely from around the Arco Desert area over to around Driggs later on this evening. And as we go into the overnight hours, a few pockets of some light showers, maybe a thunderstorm or two continuing, but we start to see the potential of heavier showers and storms increasing as we go into the morning hours just before sunrise. The idea here is to see the increase. We're expecting some of these bands to kind of shift their location during the day tomorrow. That low is still moving inland and developing, so some subtle changes will probably occur, but it does look like going into the day tomorrow, you'll notice heavier showers and thunderstorms across portions of the Snake Plain and Magic Valley up into the Island Park area initially. We'll see that increase up to through that region during the day tomorrow and the early afternoon, and then you'll notice an increase in showers and thunderstorms across the central mountains later into the day. And like we said, there is the potential of strong to severe storms everywhere tomorrow across the area. We go into tomorrow evening, the main focus, Central Mountains, moving out of the Snake Plain into the southern and southeastern highlands. We'll see a few more rounds of showers and storms across the Snake Plain during the evening, but you'll notice a big shift as we go into early Monday morning. That's because the dry slot's working in. That's going to push the main areas of showers and thunderstorms into the southern and eastern highlands overnight and back, wrapping back into the Central Mountains as we go through the Monday morning hours. that trend will continue into the day on Monday, well into the Monday afternoon and evening time frame. So let's go back to the forecast. We'll look at temperatures and winds initially. Temperatures today, we're still expecting 70s and 80s in the lower elevations. Really not expecting anyone to hit 90 degrees. There's a very, very slim chance for anybody living along the Utah border, but that chance continues to drop. The probability of that is continuing to drop today. For this afternoon, there's those gusty winds, some gusts 40 to 45 across the Arco Desert, maybe up towards Roberts, Du Bois, that direction as well. But those winds do die off a bit during the evening hours and then die off even more during the overnight hours. Now, for tomorrow, it is much, much cooler across the area with showers and thunderstorms shifting through. Warmer to the south simply because it's going to take a little longer for that precipitation and cloud cover to shift southward during the day tomorrow. We go into Monday, we got those winds really increasing across the area, gusts 40 to 45 up and down the Snake Plain and Magic Valley. But highs on Monday, only into the 50s and 60s in the lower elevations, 30s and 40s if you're going to be up in the mountains. And by the time we get to Wednesday, temperatures warming into the upper 60s to low 70s for the valleys, still 40s and 50s for the mountains. And then we'll look at these precipitation amounts. You'll notice for this afternoon, this evening, most areas seeing under 1/10 of an inch of rain. A few spots up around Island Park, maybe a little bit more if we can get some pretty good storms developing. Most of the measurable, impactful precipitation, at least through tonight, will occur up north of Salmon towards the Montana border on up into the Panhandle. Now, going into tomorrow, you can see the least amounts of rainfall will be occurring down to the south. We might be a little heavy-handed, especially down across the Burley area, Minidoka, Twin Falls area. Don't be surprised if we're barely eking out 1/10 of an inch down there tomorrow, but certainly just a few hundredths along the Utah border. You shift up into the Central Mountains and the Eastern Highlands where we've been forecasting the heavier rain. That trend will continue. 1/2 inch to an inch is certainly possible up in the Eastern Highlands. We may see around 1/2 inch to maybe a little bit more, 1.33 inches up around Sawtell Peak and also the mountains there just south of West Yellowstone along the border. Those higher amounts back into the Central Mountains continue around 1/2 inch to an inch. Some higher amounts possible across the Sawtooth and some of the surrounding mountain ranges there. Easily could see 1 inch to 1.25 inches in those areas. You know, we've been off and on showing you some of these behind-the-scenes forecasts. You know, we give you the most likely scenario. Here's the potential of maybe seeing a different amount of precipitation, a different scenario if you want to look at it that way. For the same time period for up around the Island Park area, the mountains along the border, that chance of seeing over 1 inch is around 25 to 35%, so it's definitely not zero. Doesn't look like we're going to see 2-inch amounts there in that area. We were thinking we might see an outside shot of seeing over 2 inches. That looks like has dwindled to basically no chance at this point. That could change again as we go through the next 24 to 48 hours. Shifting back into the Central Mountains, you'll notice there's a pretty good bullseye, especially like we said, the Sawtooths, the surrounding mountain ranges, even down in the Stanley Basin. These probabilities of seeing over 1 inch are 50, 60, even 65 to 70%. We bump this up to the probability of 2 inches, and you'll notice, like we said, not much really again up around the Island Park area now, but still 20-25% chance of seeing over 2 inches across the Sawtooths and surrounding areas. So while that's not necessarily in the forecast just for that 24-hour period, we're talking 6 a.m. Sunday to 6 a.m. Monday, we cannot rule it out, especially if we can get some training of thunderstorms moving over the same areas in that particular part of our forecast area. Going back to more precipitation amounts, shifting into Monday, you see where that dry slot is producing basically little to no precipitation. A good chunk of the Snake Plain and Magic Valley, the South Hills area, there might be a few light showers there, but you'll notice not even eking out 1/10 of an inch up in the Central Mountains. The heavier precipitation again shifting to around Monida Pass, Spencer, over through Island Park, where we could see 1/4 to 1/2 inch of rain falling with that system going into Monday evening. So once again, we start to see the showers and thunderstorms increasing across the area today. They make a somewhat of a push south, not across the entire area until tomorrow. The potential of storms producing hail and gusty winds is there today. A little better chance tomorrow, even a few severe thunderstorms possible with those risks involved. Again, the best chance of rain is tomorrow afternoon and evening. We'll see it shifting across the area into the central mountains of the eastern highlands on Monday as the dry slop moves in. It will be breezy outside of thunderstorms as well. But if you're wanting warmer and drier conditions, that will be back with us by the middle part and end part of next week. Have a great day, folks, and stay safe, everyone.